Have you ever stopped to wonder why a bicycle glides with such effortless grace once in motion? These are the subtle workings of the universe playing out in our everyday lives, often unnoticed. Our world is woven with invisible threads of physical law. They are ancient forces that have shaped galaxies, but also dictate the arc of a thrown ball. To learn to see them is to discover a world of breathtaking complexity. We will explore the kitchen, the garage, and the open sky. It is here, in these unassuming arenas, that the fundamental principles of the universe reveal themselves. So let us begin this expedition into our own world. Together, we will look at the world with a newfound understanding. Here we have one of the most common and ingenious inventions of human locomotion, the bicycle. At rest, it is a creature of inherent instability. A slight nudge, a gentle breeze, and its delicate balance is lost, surrendering to the relentless pull of gravity. It seems almost paradoxical that this spindly, two-wheeled frame could ever provide a stable platform for a rider. Yet once it begins to move, something remarkable happens. It transforms, acquiring a stability that seems to defy its very design, a steadfastness born from motion itself. The secret to this newfound poise lies within its spinning wheels. Each wheel, as it rotates, becomes a gyroscope. This phenomenon, the gyroscopic effect, is a fundamental principle of physics. Any object that spins possesses what is known as angular momentum, a property that makes it resist changes to its orientation. Think of a spinning top. It stands upright, dancing on a single point. But as its spin slows, it begins to wobble and eventually falls. The bicycle's wheels are no different. Their rapid rotation creates a powerful stabilizing force. This invisible force is constantly at work, a silent guardian against tipping over. When the bicycle starts to lean to one side, the gyroscopic effect of the spinning front wheel causes it to automatically steer into the lean. This subtle, almost imperceptible turn guides the bicycle's base back underneath the rider's center of gravity, correcting the imbalance before it can become a fall. It is a self-correcting system of sublime elegance, a dynamic dance between gravity and angular momentum. The rider, often unconsciously, becomes a partner in this dance. They are not merely a passenger, but an active participant, making minute adjustments to their weight and steering. But the fundamental stability, the very thing that makes riding possible, is a gift from the physics of the spinning wheel. It allows this simple machine to trace a line of perfect balance across the landscape, a testament to the profound and often hidden forces that can be harnessed through the simple act of setting things in motion. While the gyroscopic effect provides stability, the geometry of the bicycle plays a crucial role. The front fork is angled forward, creating a trail. The trail acts like the caster on a shopping trolley wheel, which always swivels to follow the direction of movement. This gives the front wheel a natural tendency to self-center. This self-steering works in harmony with the gyroscopic effect. So, appreciate the unseen ballet of forces at play. The bicycle is a demonstration of how understanding natural laws can create objects of remarkable grace. In kitchens across the world, a daily ritual unfolds. Water, collected in a pot or kettle, is placed over a source of heat. It sits there, placid and still, a clear and tranquil liquid. But beneath this calm surface, a profound transformation is about to begin. The addition of heat is the addition of energy, and this energy is being transferred directly into the countless individual molecules that make up the water. We cannot see them, but they are there, a vast and crowded population. Before heating, these molecules are in a constant state of motion, jiggling and jostling against one another, held together by the bonds that define them as a liquid. As the heat source infuses the system with thermal energy, this motion becomes more and more frantic. The molecules begin to vibrate with increasing violence, colliding with their neighbors with greater force and frequency. The quiet liquid is becoming a seething, agitated mass at the microscopic level, though from our perspective, it still appears largely unchanged. The first visible signs of this growing turmoil often appear as tiny bubbles clinging to the bottom and sides of the pot. These are not yet steam. They are, in fact, gases that were dissolved in the water, like oxygen and nitrogen, which are less able to stay dissolved as the temperature rises. They are the heralds, the first messengers indicating that the water is approaching a critical threshold. The molecular dance is becoming so energetic that the water can no longer contain these dissolved guests. This stage represents a critical buildup of potential. The energy being pumped into the water is steadily increasing the kinetic energy of every single molecule. It is like a crowd in a stadium, growing louder and more restless with every passing moment. The quiet hum has become a roar, though one that is still too small for our ears to hear. The water is on the very precipice of a dramatic state change, a violent and beautiful transition from liquid to gas, all driven by the invisible transfer of heat. As the temperature of the water at the bottom of the pot reaches the boiling point, 100 degrees Celsius at sea level, a new and more dramatic phase begins. The water molecules there have now absorbed so much energy that their frantic vibrations are powerful enough to overcome the attractive forces holding them together as a liquid. They break free from their neighbors, forming a pocket of water vapor, a bubble of true steam. This is the moment of genesis for a steam bubble. Being far less dense than the surrounding water, this newly formed bubble is buoyant. It detaches from the hot surface of the pot and begins its ascent, a silvery sphere rising through the cooler water above. On its journey, however, it may encounter water that is not yet at boiling point. If this happens, the cooler water robs the bubble of its heat. The water vapor inside condenses back into liquid, and the bubble collapses with a quiet pop. This is the source of the simmering sound, the gentle singing of a kettle before it reaches a full boil. As the heating continues, the entire body of water approaches a uniform temperature of 100 degrees Celsius. Now, the steam bubbles that form at the bottom are able to survive their journey to the top. They rise, expanding as the pressure of the water above them decreases, and burst at the surface, releasing their payload of water vapor into the air. This is the rolling boil, a chaotic and turbulent display of a fundamental physical process. The water is now actively and violently turning into a gas. The visible cloud we call steam, which billows from the kettle's spout, is itself a fascinating postscript. It is not the invisible water vapor, but rather a mist of tiny liquid water droplets that have formed as the hot, moist vapor hits the cooler air and condenses. We are witnessing the complete cycle: liquid turning to invisible gas, which then turns back into a visible cloud of liquid droplets. It is a miniature weather system in our kitchen, a powerful and constant reminder of how energy can transform matter from one state to another. For millennia, humanity has gazed upon the birds, creatures that have mastered the sky. They navigate an invisible river of air that surrounds our planet. To our ancestors, their ability to soar was a divine gift. Yet, the secret to their mastery lies not in magic, but in physics. It is a dance between shape and speed, pressure and flow. This invisible ocean has currents and tides, and understanding them was the key to unlocking the dream of flight. The journey begins with an aerofoil, which we commonly call a wing. Observe its shape. It is not flat, but curved. The top surface is gently humped, creating a longer path than the bottom surface. When this shape is propelled forward, it slices through the air. The separated streams of air must reunite at the trailing edge of the wing, at the same moment in time. To travel the longer path over the top of the wing in the same amount of time, the upper stream of air must accelerate. As the air speeds up, its internal pressure drops. This is a fundamental truth of fluid dynamics, a principle first articulated by Daniel Bernoulli. The high-pressure air beneath the wing relentlessly pushes upward, seeking to move toward the area of lower pressure above. This constant upward push is what we call lift. It is a force born from shape and motion that counters the relentless pull of gravity. For an aircraft to sustain flight, a delicate equilibrium must be maintained. Four fundamental forces are in constant contention. Lift battles against the downward pull of weight. Thrust, the forward driving force, propels the wing through the air. Opposing this motion is drag, the resistance of the air. The pilot coaxes the air, adjusting the angle of attack to alter the pressure and generate lift. Too steep an angle, and the airflow can detach, causing a stall. A commercial flight is a continuous act of balancing. The engines provide thrust to overcome drag, generating enough lift to counteract the aircraft's weight. It's a triumph of understanding and harnessing these forces to journey through the sky. Following a storm, the world is cleansed. The air holds a particular clarity. As the sun emerges, the stage is set for nature's most enchanting spectacles, a rainbow. It is an optical illusion that exists only in the precise geometry between the sun, the observer, and a curtain of water droplets. It is a phantom of light and water. The magic begins with a single ray of sunlight entering a spherical droplet of water. Sunlight is in fact a composite. It is a bundled spectrum of all the colors that the human eye can perceive. When this ray of light crosses from the air into the denser medium of water, it bends. This bending is called refraction. But the bending is not uniform for all colors. Each color within the white light bends at a slightly different angle. This process, known as dispersion, is the first step in unraveling the light. The raindrop has acted as a miniature prism, sorting the light by its wavelength. Instead of passing out of the droplet, a portion of the light is reflected. This internal reflection sends the now separated colors back towards the front of the droplet, ready to emerge back into the world. Having been sorted and reflected, the band of colored light races towards the raindrop's front surface. As it passes back into the air, it refracts again, further separating the colors. Each color emerges at a specific angle relative to the original sunbeam. Red exits at 42 degrees, violet at 40 degrees. Consider millions of raindrops. Your eye sees only the light directed towards it. The highest raindrops send red light, while lower drops send orange and even lower yellow. The lowest arc is violet light. Each band is a combined effort of countless raindrops, each contributing a point of color. It is a mosaic of light, assembled by geometry. This is why a rainbow is an arc, representing droplets positioned at a 40 to 42 degree angle. If the ground weren't in the way, you'd see a full circle, sometimes seen by pilots. A personal, universally governed spectacle. In the quiet corners of our world, in the grand halls of history, and the humble mantelpieces of our homes, an ancient rhythm persists. It is the steady, hypnotic swing of the pendulum, a simple weight suspended from a fixed point, yet it holds within its arc the very secret of keeping time. It is a dialogue between gravity and inertia. In this predictable, repeating motion, humanity found a way to capture the fleeting moments of existence and organize the chaos of a day into hours, minutes, and seconds. Gravity constantly pulls the pendulum's bob back towards its lowest point. When released, gravity converts potential energy into kinetic energy. Inertia dictates that the bob will not simply stop. It insists on continuing its journey. Together, these two forces create a state of perpetual oscillation. The length of the pendulum's arm determines the time it takes to complete one full swing, its period. Clockmakers harness this principle into the reliable, ticking heart of clocks. The pendulum's swing must be carefully managed to serve the purpose of timekeeping. This requires a mechanical gatekeeper known as the escapement. It gives the pendulum a tiny, precisely timed push to counteract friction, and allows the clock's gears to advance with each swing. An anchor-shaped piece rocks back and forth, its prongs catching and releasing the teeth of a spinning escape wheel. This interaction produces the characteristic tick-tock sound, the audible signature of time being measured. This interaction is a marvel of reciprocal engineering, a self-sustaining loop ensuring unwavering accuracy. So, listen closely to the comforting tick-tock. You are hearing the physics of our universe in action, tamed and translated by human ingenuity. We celebrate speed, but friction, a force of resistance, is equally vital. It's an interaction whenever two surfaces meet and attempt to move relative to one another. A car's momentum requires an opposing force to stop. That force is the friction between the tires and the road. Road surfaces, though seemingly smooth, are rugged. The tire rubber conforms to these imperfections, creating a mechanical grip. Brakes maximize friction, converting kinetic energy into heat, slowing wheel rotation. Friction allows us to safely release energy, transforming motion into manageable heat. Without it, stopping would be unpredictable, making modern transportation impossible. The effectiveness of friction is dynamic and sensitive. The weight of the vehicle increases the potential for frictional grip. A loaded truck requires robust braking due to greater momentum and the need for increased friction. Tire design manages this interaction for optimal performance. Deep grooves manage water, friction's enemy. Water between the tire and road causes hydroplaning, eliminating grip and control. Tread channels pump water, maintaining rubber-to-road contact. Road and tire materials are critical. Different surfaces offer different grip levels. Rubber composition balances grip, durability, and performance. Stopping a car relies on this invisible force. Friction provides control and ensures safety. From the grand arc of a rainbow to the quiet swing of a pendulum, our daily existence is woven through with the fundamental laws of the universe. These are not abstract concepts. They are active, dynamic forces that shape every moment. The principles of physics are the language in which the story of our reality is written. To look at a boiling kettle is to connect with the deep thermal currents that drive our planet's climate. To understand the balance of a bicycle is to grasp the same gyroscopic principles that keep celestial bodies in their orbits. Science is a lens through which we can see the world with a newfound sense of wonder and clarity, transforming the ordinary into the extraordinary. Science is all around us. You just need to see it. Discover more fascinating stories and subscribe to Kendu Global Files, and let us continue this incredible journey of understanding together.